Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 3rd August 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. So here I am taking the edition of Hindu. So whichever edition you are having, you can go to that edition. So there is no need of bothering about changing of edition at all. And two more things I want to always focus whenever I'm starting your Hindu analysis is you have to know your syllabus. So first of all, you need to by heart your syllabus and not only understand the statements given in your syllabus, but even you have to have a clear vision on what are the micro topics which are present in your syllabus. It is very important. And prepare according to your micro topics. So don't read the first page of standard book till the last. It is not at all useful. So just to go through the topic wise. And next one is you have to go through your previous year's questions after completion of your classes and after revision of your class notes. And if you're reading your NCERT or if you're reading any other standard books per se, so you have to focus on previous year's questions so that you can understand exactly where the questions are asking by the UPSC. You can get the related questions from the topics, and even you can understand how questions are coming from your current affairs, and even you have to know like how they are using the words to confuse you and to trap the students. So in this way you have to read the current affairs accordingly so that you can make a plan based on the PYQs and as well as the syllabus. Okay, so this is the front page of your Hindu. So in this front page, so most of the articles are like related to our earlier news only. So there is nothing much new in our today's newspaper at all. So here you can see this article is talking about search and rescue operation which is going on in Wayanad. So this topic we can connect with what? Landslides. We can connect with landslides. So this landslides topics we can see from GS paper 1 under geography. We are seeing this story from past 3 days onwards, the same story. There is nothing new here. And even from GS paper 3 onwards, like from environment and ecology point of view, we can link it with climate change. It is one of the important reason for this landslides in this Wayanad. And each one is from disaster management from GS paper 3. We can see this topic. So there you will be focusing on what? There you will be focusing on disaster management cycle. So in this disaster management cycle we have pre-disaster, next one is during disaster, and next one is post-disaster. So here you have to see in this pre-disaster what are the steps you are going to take, and in this disaster what are the steps you are going to take, and as well as in this post-disaster. So each and every area you need to cover. Okay, clear? So in this way you have to prepare. And if you move on, so here there is one article, it is about 72% of accesses opted for new tax regime in 2023 to 2024. So now in parliament sessions are going on. In parliament, what is the topic which is going on? Sessions. And in this sessions we are having 3 types of sessions. So everyone wants to opt a BMW, right? So in that way you can remember BMW, budget session, monsoon session and winter session. So now the budget session is going on, and you know clearly if you're following our NIS analysis, I am saying continuously that on July 23rd, so this budget had been placed by our Union Finance Minister, right? So in this budget there are some changes which are made to our IT, that is income tax. So one more important topic that you need to focus is income tax. So normally in taxes we have 2 types of taxes, right? We have direct taxes, and next one is we have indirect taxes. For example, income tax and corporate tax comes under part of this direct taxes. So here this article is talking about especially income tax. So this article is useful from your economy point of view, which comes into GS paper 3, and there is a chance of getting prelims based and also mains based question from this topic. prelims and mains question. So now let us see this in detail. So if you see this topic, it is saying that the financial year 2023-2024, about 72% of Indian personal income taxpayers, they went for this new tax regime. And now recently in our budget, our finance minister introduced a new budget or new tax regime. So in that, around 72% of people had been paying the tax. And why the 72% of people they are opting this new regime? Because it is very simpler compared to that of earlier, and because of this it is very beneficial for the people to file the tax. Okay, so out of 7.29 crore income tax returns they filed, so in new regime 5.27 crore people they adopted this method. So I can say it is one of the success of this new tax regime. So if you see some important details, it is saying that now there is a major shift. So from earlier method, so 72% of people, they are opting for this new method, which is a simplified taxation method. So here taxpayers are preferring the easy method for easy filing of taxes. And this one is, because of this easy method, even the number of people who are filing this IT also had been increased. At what percent? 7.5% of increase in IT return filings as well. So that why? What is the reason why the 7.5% of people they are increased filing? Because of two reasons. First one is there is increased awareness about tax filings, and even there is compliance, and especially because of better infrastructure now there is increased number of people who file this income tax. And this one is this new regime popularity also had been increased, because in the first time whenever we introduced that 5.27 crore people they had been filed their returns during this by using this new regime. So because of this we can see that we need simplifications, and as well as we need to alter our tax regime so that the greater acceptance will be there. And this one is what are the tax regime we have. So making new tax regime default is a strategic move so that it can also simplify the decision making process for taxpayers, and because of this it will be also increasing adoption of this tax. And this one is even whenever there is reduction of the tax rate slabs, means it will be also very helpful for the people to file less amount of tax so that the burden will be decreased. And this one is there is increase the tax free limit. So now the rebate is there till 7 lakhs. That means if you're earning 7 lakhs per annum, then you have to pay the tax. And because of this change, what happened? So we are aiming that the people will be more compliant, and even we can understand that modern taxpayers they need some reforms, and such that we can improve our economic growth. So these are the some important points that you need to know regarding this topic. So now let us move on to next topic. So here again, Himachal flood toll mounts to 647 people are still missing. So this article is related to cloudburst. What is that article? It is related to cloudburst. Suddenly very huge rainfall happened in Uttarakhand as well as Himachal Pradesh. So because of that, that led to floods. So here we can connect this topic with GS paper 1 under geography, and even from disaster management from GS paper 3 we can see this topic. So from GS paper 1, from your geography you have to understand the exact definition of this cloudburst, and in this definition you can go through with IMD definition and as well as World Meteorological Organization definition. And you have to see what are the reasons. What are the reasons for this cloudburst and what are the impacts. And from disaster management point of view, you have to see like pre-disaster steps, during disaster steps, and as well as post-disaster steps. So all these are very important. And you can get a mains question from this area, and even prelims questions from geography point of view. Okay, now let us see other articles. In city page, there is nothing much important. You can simply skip this page. And here, if you go on, in the states page, you can see one article. Modi urged to create a new lion sanctuaries in Gujarat. So lion is a top predator, right? So it is talking about new lion sanctuaries. Sanctuaries are the place where we are going for protection of endangered or critically endangered species. We are going for conservation. So where can we see this topic? From GS paper 3, we have environment and ecology. In environment and ecology, you'll be studying about this biodiversity and biodiversity conservation. So there you can see this. And even whenever you're talking about conservation topic, you will be seeing like in situ conservation and as well as ex situ conservation. So you have to know where we are going for in situ conservation, ex situ conservation. So from that point of view also, there is a high chance of getting your prelims and mains question. And here this article is talking about one important sanctuary, that is Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, and you have to make a note of this Barda Wildlife Sanctuary. It is located in state of Gujarat. Okay, now let us see this article in detail. So this article is saying that Rajya Sabha MP urged Prime Minister to address issue concerning Asiatic lions in Gujarat. So actually we are having one wildlife sanctuary called as Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat, where we are focusing on conservation of Asiatic lions. So during the meeting here, they emphasized for a new lion sanctuary, and the proposed wildlife sanctuary, new wildlife sanctuary in Gujarat is Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, and they are going to have the better facilities for the tourists at the Gir forest. So those two things are said in this meet. So actually if you're talking about this article, they are focusing on especially Asiatic lion conservation. So Asiatic lion population is primarily found in Gujarat state, and especially whenever we are focusing on this conservation, it will be very helpful for expanding of our sanctuaries, and even it will be very much helpful for protection and as well as growing of our endangered species like lions. And even we can also enhance tourism infrastructure, so that whenever we are focusing on tourism, it will be helpful for our local economy, and even it will be helpful for wildlife conservation as well. And this one is we need legislative support also, like a parliamentary standing committee is also highlighting that government need to come up with some commitments, so that whatever the environment issues are there, so we can achieve those challenges, and even this will be helpful for policy changes as well. So this is about the article. And if you move on to other articles, so here entire page is filled with this disaster in Wayanad. So you can move on to this editorial page. So in our today's editorial, there are two articles which are important. So first article, it is about sub-classification of essays. So I made a separate video in both Telugu and as well as English version. And yesterday night around 10, I uploaded in our YouTube channel. So please go to this video so that you can get lots and lots of insights. So I want to give you a brief idea. Okay, so brief idea is, now in this 2024 judgment, Supreme Court overturned judgment of 2004 E.V. Chennaiah versus State of AP. E.V. Chennaiah versus State of AP. So here you have to remember two articles. So based on Article 14, which talks about right to equality. So here Supreme Court said that we should not sub-classify essays, because just on the base of reservation, for education and as well as employment, we cannot go for sub-classification in this schedule caste, because it is against right to equality. And next one here is, already those scheduled caste people, they are deprived or underprivileged, and even they are socially disadvantaged from even many centuries onwards. But how can we go for sub-classification? This is one question. And even Article 341 says that President has the power, not the states, to come up with the list. So because of this, what happened? This judgment of 2004 had struck down 2000 law of AP government. And even in the similar way, 1975 notification of Punjab government, which is giving 25% of reservation for ST to two categories, also had been cancelled. And now 2024 judgment said that yes, we can go for sub-classification, nothing but creamy layer, sub-classification. It said okay for sub-classification of scheduled caste. And second one is about Article 16 subclass 4. And next one is Article 342A. Okay, so Article 16 says that yes, government can provide some affirmative action for the upliftment of this underprivileged society. So in that article they said that if they are not adequately represented, it is not talking about equality. Okay, everyone should be equally treated. And this one is this Article 342 says that here states and as well as UTs have the power to come up with SC list other than this president list. So this is a thing. And if you want to have the detailed insights from 1975 and 2000, 2004, 2006, 2010, 2018 and 2024, so please do watch that video. Yesterday itself I posted. Okay. So now let's just see this topic in detail. Let us try to understand what is this article talking about. So this article is saying that is allowing sub-quotas or creamy layer to least advantaged among SC deepen social justice. So we are providing affirmative action or reservation for these people to provide social justice. Whenever we are going for sub-classification in this SCs, then that will lead to deepening of social justice. So this is the thing which mainly said. And actually Supreme Court in recent ruling which allows now states to classify scheduled caste into subgroups based on the level of backwardness, so that we are focusing on substantive equity or substantive equality, so that we are not treating SC as a uniform or homogeneous group. So if you see the details, it says that the shift in this perspective, okay, the evolution from formal to substantive equality, which says that we are understanding the deeper social injustice, and even we are trying to address this so-called inequality in the society. And next one is we are also focusing on recognition of diversity. The court ruling acknowledges that the scheduled caste, they are not a monolithic group. So we have to give more importance to the diverse backgrounds, and it is the responsibility of government to provide affirmative actions to actually the people who are in need. And next one is even we have to understand the historical context, like these scheduled caste people and scheduled tribe people, they had been disadvantaged from history onwards. So here, yes, government need to take some affirmative action so that these sections of people can be uplifted. And next one is creamy layer exclusion. And next one is we need to take some proper legal proceedings so that that can be implemented. So states can be getting some support to implement this. Okay, so in this way, this judgment will be empowering our states so that now states they can classify a weaker SC sections, and this will be encouraging the localized and context-specific solutions, okay, to provide social equality. Okay, and even this Supreme Court judgment is also focusing on marginalized representation. That means we are focusing on the representation of marginalized sections of people. Clear? Yes, and now let us see one more important interesting article. It is about 5 guidelines to dragon and elephant tango. So this article is talking about India and China relations. So where we will be reading this India-China relations? GS paper 2 from international relations. Right? So this topic is important from your mains, not from your prelims. And one more thing here is, so between India and China, we have lots and lots of issues like aggressive expansionist policy, like border issue, and recently we had more than 30 rounds of talks between India and China for resolution of boundary dispute, but still now there is nothing like stalemate which happened between India and China. So here you have to focus on what are the 5 points so that we can improve relationship between India and China, that this article mainly focused. So here 17th Chinese ambassador, he is visiting to India. So this visit will be helpful to understand how India and China relations are very important. And in this meet, they are focusing on 5 important guidelines. They are called as 5 mutuals. So first one is mutual respect. So each and every country should have respect towards each other. And this one is we have to understand. And next one is trust is important, accommodation and accomplishment. So these are the 5 mutuals we need to focus between India and as well as China. So if you see this India and China relations, if you are talking about historical independence, so India and China, they have a rich history of collaboration between the two countries, and that laid the strong foundation for future relations. And even we are having strengthening of the culture ties as well. And even we are having cultural uniqueness, like China and India are focusing on mutual respect, and we are enhancing the bilateral cooperation. And each and every country, they have to learn from one another's strengths. And even we are going for dialogues. So 30 rounds of dialogues which had been went on for between India and China. So that what happened, it is also increasing the communication, and we are also understanding the relations, and even we are trying to build a political trust, and we want to have a smoother diplomatic relations rather than throwing the bombs on each other territories. And this one is conflict resolution is an important area where we have to focus actually across LAC. Since 2020 onwards, we and China is having the issues, but till now there is no proper solutions for that problem. And this one is we have to focus on the vision for friendship in the future, and we need proper cooperation rather than the enemy, because we are directly sharing boundary with China. So rather than enemy or enmity, yes, we can have a fostering of friendship and cooperation, so that we can ensure the thriving of each other countries, and we can ensure interconnected world in this globalized era. And next topic it is about center raises reissues draft notification on eco-sensitive areas in Western Ghats. So what happened in this Western Ghats? Especially have to see location of this Western Ghats. So here we have Western Ghats. So especially in this Kerala now landslides are happening. So you have to remember about two important committees about the conservation of Western Ghats. So first one is Kasturi Rangan Committee. So whenever you're writing any question regarding conservation of Western Ghats or like sensitive areas of Western Ghats, you have to write about this Kasturi Rangan Committee. And there is one more committee that is called as Gadgil Committee. You have to know the recommendations. So till now we followed this Kasturi Rangan Committee recommendations, and now because of increasing of disasters in this Western Ghats, now we are focusing on reissuing of draft again, and we have to see this, it is very important. So this article is saying that Union government has reissued a draft notification for the 6th time, and they are focusing on especially conservation of Western Ghats across 6 states. Especially they are declared as ecologically sensitive areas. And in this draft, they are mainly focusing on limiting of mining and as well as limiting of large infrastructure projects. So whenever we are going for mining and development projects, we have to compromise on environment. So because of this, it is leading to this type of disasters now, and we are facing those disasters. So actually we are focusing on environmental concerns, and we have to improve our environment and as well as ecology, and we have to reduce ecological degradation as soon as possible. And whenever we are having the restrictions on some economic activities in that region, obviously it is having impact on the local economy. But even though, yes, we have to take some strict steps because ecological damage is going on at a very fast pace. And this one is public engagement is very important. Whenever any draft came up by the government, it have to be placed for the public evaluation, so that public will be seeing that, and they will be also giving some recommendations or changes, so that public can involve in the decision making process. And even this type is very important for state federal dynamics. So we have to understand the complexity of balancing environment conservation, and even we have to focus on regional development and as well as livelihood promotion as well. And this one is we have to see what the previous committee are saying about this conservation of Western Ghats. We have Gadgil Committee and as well as Kasturi Rangan Committee. And already those recommendations said that we have to balance our environment conservation on our development or economy. So we didn't focus much. Because of this, now we are seeing the disasters. And this one is we have to see the future of our ecosystem, how balanced we can do, and how this new committee will be evaluating the state's concerns, and as well as how they are shaping our future conservation efforts we need to take in care of. And I will be giving you two main questions. So see here, one is about significance of eco-sensitive areas in Western Ghats. Next one is you have to see implications of draft notification on these areas. So they are controlling mining and as well as some economic or developmental projects. So what will be the impact of that? For example, what will be the impact on agriculture, impact on local employment, impact on state economy? So you have to write that. And next question is discuss the rationale behind the demand for sub-classification within the scheduled caste category in India. How can such sub-classification impact on socio-economic status of marginalized communities? So try to write these answers for sure. And if you move on to other articles, today is Saturday, there is no op-ed, there is no text and context. And here I discussed about this Western Ghats topic. And if you move on here, there is one article regarding Citizenship Amendment Act. You have to see what is the Citizenship Amendment Act, what are the provisions, and which communities you are going to get the citizenship, and from which countries, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. So that is enough. And if you move on, okay, that's all. So these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like this class and share this class to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathods Science Academy. Thank you guys.